Hi, everybody. Welcome back to lesson 2, where we talk about how living things interact with one another. Last time we talked about the idea of an adaptation. Now we're going to be using those adaptations to talk about a new idea called competition and predation. Now, these words may be words that you are already familiar with. Competition is just a struggle. Okay, we compete all the time. Sports, tournaments, video games. When we're talking about it in ecology, however, we're talking about the competition being a struggle between organisms to survive, the ultimate competition, especially if they are trying to use the same limited resources. I'll give you an example in a second. But I want to talk about predation on the other hand. So competition is where we have two things butting up against each other, not necessarily one winning over the other. Predation is not like that. Predation is when you have organism A completely dominating organism B, in which A kills B because A is hungry. Okay, we got two special vocabulary words for that: predation and prey, or predator and prey. Sharks, you may have heard as the predator of the sea. Well, sharks eat other fish. They're prey. I am the predator to my sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, my prey. Now, why does this matter? Well, let's look at the wolf and moose population on Isle Royale. As the wolf population tends to increase, we notice an equal decrease of the moose population. And why do you think that may be? Take a second to think about it. Well, wolves eat moose. Moose don't eat wolves, but wolves eat moose. So what we have here is an example of predation, where the predator, the wolf, eats the moose. When we get more wolves, we need an equal amount of moose so that the wolves can keep eating them. However, when one goes up, we're likely to see the moose population go down. I mean, you can only eat so many moose before there's not enough moose. And when we look at this, as the wolf population goes up, the moose population goes down. Well, what's that going to do to the wolf population? If there's not enough food, what do you think is going to happen to the wolves? So this is a really good example of the idea between the wolf and the moose population, or about predation and how these organisms are interacting with each other. We'd like to call out, we do have a spike in the moose population. And you would think, if the moose population is skyrocketing, that means there's a lot of food. Why are there not wolves, returning? Well, keep in mind, we're talking ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, there's likely to be more than just wolves and moose, right? Possibly something else that was eating the moose population died out when the moose population plummeted. And then all of a sudden, nothing's eating the moose skyrocket. Great example is if you've ever been to Eagle Creek. Eagle Creek has a disgustingly large amount of deer. Nothing eats the deer. Nothing eats the deer. Well, a car might hit a deer, but it doesn't eat it. There's no specific predator for the deer, so the deer population skyrockets. It has skyrocketed. And that's why Eagle Creek will occasionally increase the number of deer that you're allowed to hunt in its borders, because they really need to deal with it, because the deer are affecting the ecosystem. So with that, we didn't really talk about competition too much. Just understand. Did I skip a slide? No, I didn't skip a slide. With the idea of competition, if we're all struggling to eat the same amount of food, eventually food's going to become scarce. That's going to affect our ecosystem. So with that, I hope that helped answer your questions. And next time we'll talk about how living things, instead of living together angrily, live together peacefully, mostly. Have a good day. Bye.